All right, today we're going to talk about a drug that's, well, it's a bit of a paradox. It can be a total miracle worker, but it can also be a real menace. You've probably heard the name, it's prednisone, but trust me, its story is way more complicated than most people realize.
And that's really the heart of it, right? On one hand, you have this incredible drug that literally saves lives and gives people their quality of life back. But on the other hand, it can bring on a whole list of tough, sometimes even dangerous side effects. It is the definition of a double-edged sword.
Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. We'll start with the basics. What even is prednisone? Then we'll look at why it's such a powerful tool. After that, we'll get into the common side effects and then the more serious long-term risks, and we'll wrap up with how to manage it all safely. Sound good? Let's dive in.
All right, Section 1. What is prednisone? The simple answer, it's the inflammation fighter. So technically, it's a corticosteroid. What does that mean? Well, think of it like this. Your body naturally makes a hormone called cortisol when you're stressed. Prednisone is basically a superpowered, synthetic version of that. Its whole mission is to tell your immune system to just chill out. And when it does that, all that inflammation, swelling, and redness starts to go down. And that very ability to just shut down inflammation is what makes this drug such an amazing, versatile tool in a doctor's toolbox. It's used for everything from arthritis to, well, you'll see.
And I'm not kidding when I say versatile. I mean, look at this list. It's the go-to for so many different things. We're talking arthritis, severe allergic reactions, asthma, autoimmune diseases like lupus, skin conditions, MS, even some cancers. It is truly a first line of defense kind of drug in a ton of different medical fights.
But if you want to see where its power is just jaw-droppingly clear, look no further than how it treats a very rare and absolutely devastating seizure disorder in babies. It's called infantile epileptic spasm syndrome, or IESS for short.
Now, this is not your typical seizure disorder. The medical term for it is epileptic encephalopathy, which is a fancy way of saying the seizures are actively damaging the baby's developing brain. We're talking developmental progress that slows down, stops completely, or even goes backward. So you can see treating this fast and effectively isn't just about stopping the spasms. It's about saving a child's entire cognitive future.
So for IES, doctors have two main hormonal treatments that really work. One is an oral corticosteroid called prednisolone, which is super similar to the prednisone we're talking about, and the other is a drug you have to inject called ACTH.
Okay, so what you're looking at here is a summary of a meta-analysis. That's basically when scientists pull the data from a bunch of different studies to get one big, powerful answer. And the answer here, it's crystal clear. When it comes to stopping the seizures, there's really no difference in how well these two drugs work. They're both really, really effective.
So if they both work just as well, what's the difference, right? Well, for one, prednisolone is a liquid or tablet you can give your baby at home. Easy enough. ACTH, on the other hand, means getting injections. But the real kicker, the biggest difference by far, is the cost.
And wow, just look at this chart. This is the staggering reality. A 2-week treatment of prednisolone back in 2020, about $89. The exact same treatment course with ACTH, over $100,000. Now, that's not a typo. It's an absolutely mind-blowing difference, and it's why prednisolone is such a vital, life-altering, and accessible option for so many families around the globe. Okay, so we've seen the miracle side, but like we said, this is a double-edged sword. So now it's time to talk about the price of that power, the common side effects. Let's start with a big one, sleep, or more accurately, the lack of it. It's one of the most common complaints. Get this, in one survey of people taking steroids long-term, more than 60% said they had insomnia. That's a huge number of people struggling to fall asleep or stay asleep.
So what's going on here? Why does it mess with your sleep so much? Well, it's a two-pronged attack, really. First, remember how it mimics cortisol, your body's get-up-and-go hormone? Well, taking it is like hitting the gas pedal when your body wants to hit the brakes for the night. And second, it actually lowers your levels of melatonin, the sleep hormone that tells your brain, hey, it's bedtime. So it's a real double whammy for your sleep cycle.
And it's not just about sleep, there's a whole host of other common side effects. A lot of people find their appetite just skyrockets, which can lead to weight gain. It can mess with your mood, making you feel anxious or restless. And then there are the physical things, indigestion, acne, and of course the infamous moon face, where your face gets puffy and round from fluid retention. Now, those side effects are no fun for sure, but when you're talking about taking this drug for a long time or at high doses, the risks can get a lot more serious. Let's get into that.
This chart really lays out the big ones. For older adults, you have to worry about osteoporosis. The drug can make your bones brittle over time. For, well, pretty much everyone, it dampens your immune system, which means you're more likely to get infections. It can also jack up your blood sugar, sometimes enough to cause a type of diabetes. And this is a really tough one. For kids and teenagers, it can actually slow down their growth.
So, you've got this huge benefit on one side and these serious risks on the other. How do you find the balance? How do you tame this powerful tool? It all comes down to managing it safely. And this quote from pharmacist Kevin Yee says it all, really. The lowest effective dose for the shortest duration will be the best way to mitigate side effects. That is the absolute golden rule of steroid therapy. Use the least amount you need for the least amount of time. That's the core strategy. There are also some really practical things you can do every day to help manage things. You know, simple stuff. Always take it with food to help your stomach. Take it in the morning so it messes with your sleep less. And if you're on it long term, you've got to keep an eye on your blood sugar and blood pressure and just be extra careful about getting sick.
But listen, if you only remember one thing about using prednisone safely, make it this. This is the golden rule. If you've been on it for more than just a few days, you cannot stop suddenly. I mean it. Never.
And here's why that's so critical. While you're taking prednisone, your body says, oh, cool, I don't have to make my own cortisol anymore. And it just stops. So if you suddenly quit, your body is left with zero of this essential hormone. That can trigger a really dangerous condition called steroid withdrawal syndrome. That's why your doctor will always have you taper, meaning you slowly lower the dose over time. It gives your body a chance to wake back up and start making its own cortisol again.
You know, when you step back, prednisone is the perfect example of the incredible balancing act of modern medicine. It's powerful, it's life-saving, it's often affordable, but it comes with a real cost. It really makes you think, doesn't it? As medicine keeps getting more and more powerful, how are we going to keep balancing that power with the price our bodies have to pay?